Well, hello. Shadowhawk, hello. Hey, Rex, I'll jump on at 3:30 as soon as I punch out. That's fine, sir. That's fine. Uh, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so we should all be thankful, right? No matter what country we live in. Of course, we give special thanks in this country. Special thanks for this country, for the founding of the country, and all that good stuff. Uh, don't think we really appreciate the holidays like we should. Everything seems to be rush, run around. But it is what it is. Um, Happy Doctor Who Day. It's still Doctor Who Day. On this day in 1963, Doctor Who first aired, starring William Hartnell as the Doctor and Carol Ann Ford as his granddaughter Susan. It took viewers on an adventure across time and space that continues to this day. Yeah, I mean, uh, basically coming up on the 60th anniversary. Good stuff, you know, good escapism. It's as good as what they give now on TV or the movies. Maybe even a little bit better. Hey, Lorenzo Sleestack in here. Yes, I have some lizard representation. Let me see if I can find any lizard representation for my fine friend. Well, yes, I can. Would Creature from the Black Lagoon be all right? I always like the Creature from the Black Lagoon, especially like hand drawn pieces. I think this is an awesome piece done by an artist that put it up on Twitter. I use Twitter for inspiration, not all the gossip and the normal fare you get there. Hope you can see that. That's a beautiful uh, Creature from the Black Lagoon piece, big claws, hunched over. See the fin on the back. I mean, just a wonderful piece. Whoever did that. Let's see if I know who did that. Let me look here. Well, give credit where credit's due, especially on a piece like that. By art by Brandon Holt. So Brandon Holt. Says 1954. That's probably the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't think maybe that's the art's from 1954. I doubt it. I think they're just citing the movie. Nice 50s creature movie. Uh, the second Creature from the Black Lagoon, I've mentioned this before, was yes. Did I win a creature? Yes. Your signature sitting out there with that, and it'll probably come with your ass cam, Lorenzo, here pretty soon. Did I win a Creature from the Black Lagoon poster a while back, or am I misreading? Well, it's not a poster. What it is a yes, you did. That was on episode 45, and we're on episode 299. Wow, but it goes by quick. And how fortuitous is that? How fortunate is that the I have to get Abby a treat here. So far, sorry for the noise. Uh, that our 300th episode tomorrow uh, will be more of those in there than what I thought. Okay, here, go away. Uh, our 300th episode will be on Thanksgiving. Now, what it is, Lorenzo, it's like I guess like a photograph. I don't know why they did it, but it's like just a piece like a photo sheet or whatever, and it's signed by the gentleman that wore the suit on land. There was two gentlemen. There was one gentleman that wore it in the water, and he could hold his breath up to like 4 minutes. Uh, Over 4 minutes for some of those shots underwater. Really uh, pretty neat person that can hold his breath, and it would be a little claustrophobic to be in that suit. Apparently it's not weighted down too much, but an accomplishment nonetheless. Power Riders, uh, how are you doing, sir? Um, Rex, you got those pickup lines ready for your mama's friends? Yes, always. Have to be complimentary to the ladies. And here's definitely a lady of grace and poise. Miss Caroline, you're early. I am early, Caroline. Uh, uh, like the title says, coming up short, which refers to this will be a short broadcast, shorter than usual, because I have to be over there at 5 my time. Uh, I had to shave. Did I do a good job? I may be a little red and splotchy, but I had to shave the stubble off and take a shower and do my hair, such as it is. It's chopped off. No more the Santa Claus man. Maybe I should show up with a Santa Claus. Do you? What do you think? Should I bought some Christmas candy for people. Should I give it out on Thanksgiving? Really it's not Thanksgiving yet. I guess somewhere in the world it's Thanksgiving. Time wise, maybe down in Australia, but they don't celebrate Thanksgiving. They should. We should be thankful every day, right? It's 5:20 Central. Uh, so they'll be serving up pizza. Hopefully I can bring some. Huh? I don't know. We have my brother and his two sons, and his eldest son is married. Oh, we want another treat or two. You're awful needy. It's okay. Why, I do declare, Rex, you're a mighty fine gentleman too, spoken like Scarlett O'Hara. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm very, very thankful for people like you, Caroline Pell Rider and Lorenzo. One treat stuck to the bag. What the heck? These things were kind of hard for her to choose, so I don't know if I'll get them again. I just got them for her for variety. Got to take care of my baby. You know, she is a baby. If you didn't get a chance on the coffee stream to see what I worked on Topicless, I did a little bit of art. I'm thinking about putting this. This is Bog, the character, my iteration of Bog, or one iteration. I have several iterations of him. This is kind of classical, I suppose. I don't know. Sometimes they're different every time. I try and do something different every time. So I made a bookmark, little stylized bookmark with just a bog head, and maybe we'll put like momentum concepts up and down on here, and then maybe the character's name on back. But I have a couple pieces cut out here. I haven't measured them to see if they're exactly, but I could actually do a couple more just off this one. This is just off, which I usually do on Topicless, just like on a comic book board, an old comic book board, not yellowed or anything. That'll work. It'll work. Get it scanned. It'll work. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, let me give you a close up of it because, kind of fine detail in the face. Hope my camera's working okay. So just got a little fancy on the design there. Do something different. Just kind of frame it in. Maybe put momentum up and down here somehow. I'll talk to the designer, and then maybe it's kind of leaning that way, and it's kind of heavy on this side design wise. If you look at it, it's all about dealing with weights, and I mean, to me, balancing things out. I'm talking primarily to Pell Rider here, but it's fun to work with weights. He's kind of leaning over, and there's more geometrical weight on that side. So that, and then just kind of a band here did separate the band there in the middle. If you look, it's just real subtle with the black here. to break that up a little bit. And so I think if I put momentum up and down here and concepts here, it'll help weight it out more, balance it out more. Just a thought. And then might even work in bog or something. I don't know. We'll see. Hello, James Hayes. Now, what's this about coming up short, Rex? I know, right? Well, it's going to be a shorter stream today because I'm having Thanksgiving a day early over at Mom's across the street. Having pizza for Thanksgiving. I'm fine with pizza. I'm thankful nonetheless for all of that. I tried not to eat that much so that I can eat a bunch of pizza. When I get there, they better, I'm sure I don't know how many pizzas they'll come with, but Mom only maybe eat one or two pieces, probably one because there's so many people and things going on. My brother has, I'm not sure how old, maybe over a year old grandchild. And so they'll be doting on the little grandchild running around. They have a nice little kitchen area there with a table and a kitchen set up, and then there's a washer and dryer, and then sort of like a door in the back that leads to a round courtyard. It's nice, has a trash can there, refrigerator. So I wish we would meet out there, but they want to meet in Mom's room. So I may have to drag a couple of chairs from the lobby into her room so that we have enough places to sit. I just don't know why they want to do. And where are they going to put the pizzas? In the kitchen, you could put them on the counter. We could sit at the table. That's my brother. I don't know. Maybe we'll wind up doing that. I hope. I'm wearing my Loki shirt. I've only worn it once. Finally took the tag off of it and washed it. I'm going in like sweatpants. I'm going in formal. It doesn't matter how I dress because my sister-in-law is critical of me. She was critical of how I was dressed at my uncle's funeral. I don't know. She liked my ex-wife, my first wife, but she didn't like me. So, she's had problems with my parents all along too. And if you can't love my parents, can't love anybody. But my brother loves her. I had 2 boys with her, and now they have a grandchild. I have no problem with her. I love her, in my own way. So it's her problem, not mine. Lorenzo says, from a genetic standpoint, domesticated animals are indeed childlike in that they don't have the wild genes to survive without the help of humans. Perhaps so. At some time, they say the wolf was domesticated right into a dog. So, and they think, okay, it was all done in breeding. Yeah, it's entertaining to watch Rex calculate how much food he can bring home. Yeah. How many pizza pies? Hey, with those young kids, I may not get any to break home. So I may as well eat as much as I can, huh, Shadowhawk?
Might as well.
That's right. Get it while the getting's good. Oh, am I being a glutton?
Whoops.
Whoops. Oh, well, it's not every day I get to eat. And it'll be interesting to see. Do they get Pizza Hut? Do they get okay, I'm getting an echo on your side, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's popular down there by you, right?
Pizza Inn. I'm trying to think of the different pizza places. I would frankly go to Mazzio's and get some.
You guys got Domino's down there?
And we got a Little Caesars. I hope they don't go cheap with Little Caesars, but they probably won't. Hey, it's Shelby. Happy belated birthday again to you. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's title, if you saw that. Even though I was in there to wish you a happy birthday, and then you took the video down. What's up with that? Did you play some music? Is this a food stream? No, if you want it to be, we can talk food. I mean, it's getting pretty close to Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Have anything more than a bowl of cereal, ramen noodles planned, Shelby, at your house? Um, I'm having pizza with my mother, so getting started a little early and going to have to cut it short because I do have to be over there at 5 my time, which is in about an hour and a half. But we've got time to have some fun and frivolity and turn this into a cooking channel. Shelby says, I saw. Thanks, Rex and chat. Wishing you all a great gobble gobble day. I mean, dogs are probably thrift domesticated from wolves. You're not a glutton. You're just wanting to hoard pizza like toys and comics. Yeah, in my stomach, but I'm pumped. Wolves probably are self-domesticated in that they probably started getting less and less fearful of humans eating scraps of food that humans threw away. Okay. Excuse me. Went down the wrong way. That's what she said.
Yeah.
I got my J. Lee Dune sketch cover comic. Joseph Dredd says.
Oh, cool.
When's the next chapter, Shadow? Caroline wants to know.
Tonight, Carolyn.
Oh, she'll be
I'm
asleep.
gonna
By then.
try to go a little bit longer this time too. I'm gonna try to make it about 10 minutes. So.
I would not listen to them, Caroline, for a whole week, and then you could actually, start playing them and drift off to sleep to them. I guess you can replay them. But see, he's behind. See, he's a busy man, and he's doing these, and it's kind of choppy. So let him get a day or two ahead, and then listen.
That's okay.
But they're not very long, are they, Shadow? About three something minutes a chapter?
Yeah, well, the first one I took your advice, and I didn't do the whole chapter. I just did kind of a test to make sure I could figure it out.
Oh, okay.
And then the second one, I got a little bit longer, but I want to try to kind of start reading ahead a little bit so that I can plan out the breaks and things more carefully.
Yes, Joseph, you can send that to me on Twitter. Are you talking about Wreck Planet? Is that what you're talking about? Your Jade Lee Dune cover. Oh, Dune cover, not Wreck Planet. Of course, Jay Lee did a couple covers for Uncle E on Wreck Planet. It'll be interesting to see those when they come out. I have seen the proofs of them or something that they look awesome. Yeah, go ahead and send that to me on Twitter. We'll take a look at that. My two cats can survive without me. They're both stone cold killers, Pale Rider says. I wish chat had an edit feature, laugh out loud. I'm listening to a few times. I will try and wait. Okay. Well, that's just my, let him get a backlog a little bit, get ahead of it. That way you're not anticipating each one every day. Matt is here. Metal Movies and Brewski's gonna have to have you on here again, Matt, pretty soon. If my wife inside making her apple pies now. Matt, I don't know if you're busy. I'll send you the link if you want to come on today and chat with us. This is going to be a shorter episode, but hopefully we'll have some fun. Good to see you, Metal Movies and Brewskis, Lorenzo says. Yeah, I don't know what a person does. I try and read most of the chat. I don't know what a person does when they become like a big channel like E, because I go over there and it's just like, woo, 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 it's moving at a fast pace. There's no way anybody could try it. You'd take the whole show reading all the comments. Hello, Eagle Rider. Nice to see you. I hope you've had a good day. Finally got out of bed. Love on the cat a little bit more today. What you say, Shadowhawk?
But I'm driving, so I can't see anybody. So hi, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, hell, he's blind and he's driving. Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Oh my God!
One side. One side. Well, hell, I was going to call on you to show some comics. No, he's reading. He hadn't even made it home yet. That's how dedicated Shadowhawk is. He ain't got time to be dedicated, but nonetheless, here he is. Was up hours, resting now. I wonder if the host of big channels mostly just read Super Chat. Pretty much. I mean, I guess you just about have to limit it to a certain degree. I know E reads other comments that aren't Super Chats. I think a host should always try and engage with the chat more as much as good. I would, Rex, but I'm watching the kids while the wife cooks for tomorrow. Oh, I understand. Yeah, big meal tomorrow, Thanksgiving. Hey, MMB, we set the bar high for the Embrace competition. Yes. Thanks for the invite, brother. No problem. No problem. Hope you're still working on Brian to get him over here. I need to invite him again. I think I think a host should send me links. Oh, okay. That was less than subtle.
Sometimes
okay.
subtle doesn't pay.
Subtle doesn't pay, and it doesn't pay the bills. Yeah.
That's right.
She was on the coffee stream today. And I bumped myself out to try and correct something, and I couldn't go back in. So I was like, I can't go back in.
Oh, no.
Because we were talking about the behind the scenes after I'd ended it. But
I got you. Okay.
when I ended it, it didn't show that it was ending. The clock was still ticking up here, and it was just spinning over here. And I had to go to YouTube to confirm that what Eagle was saying was right, that it had ended. So I don't know. StreamYard. I rarely watch big channels when they're live, and if I do, I mainly interact with other members of the chat. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what a lot of that is in the chat, right? With the running chat. I mean, Uncle E's, I'm doing my finger like this up and down just very quickly. That's about how that chat runs. Hey, Eagle.
Never.
I love that icon. That's a nice icon for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys doing today?
Hey,
No,
well,
Pale Rider, get it right. I think I have cleavage privileges. I mean,
I thought that was quarter privileges, but anyway, you have to have a slot to put the quarter in. Eagle thinks he has Indian privilege. Pale Rider says. Matt Burke dropping his Butch Cleaver 2 on Indiegogo link. Definitely check that out. And Shadowhawk, when you I know you're on your phone and you probably can't check it out till after we end the stream. And I know you're going to be busy. My hair is sticking up in the back. Indian feather.
feathers.
I have a link down on. It's the last link on the very bottom, and it says best werewolf movies of all time. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's on YouTube. So there's the link in the comments section for you, Shadow, if you want to watch that and see if you've seen that before. I have. I don't know if I've watched it before, but I have it on my playlist. I'll check it out. But I thought you might appreciate that. That was on one of the campaigns that I was bringing up the links, and I said, best werewolf movies of all time. I know somebody that'd be interested in watching that. I might be interested in watching that myself just to see how they kind of rank the best werewolf movies.
Yeah,
So,
I'll check that out.
yeah, it's in the comment section.
I know
Or
I've
you
seen
can-
a couple of those like compilation videos like that. I don't know if I've seen that particular one.
Yeah, Yeah, yeah. You can see, you check it out and see if you've seen it before. I don't know if I have either, but I didn't recognize the thumbnail, so I'm not thinking that I've seen it, or maybe I am thinking that I've not seen it. However,
Huh? You left.
Eagle, what'd you do today after you got up out of bed? Well, that's before you got out of bed. Yeah, that doesn't count. Well, I mean, it counts, right? It counts. Huh? Fist bump.
I've been
It
getting
counts.
work done around the house and projects finished for family and for travel and stuff. So I've been busy.
Mhm. You can see how bright
Rest a
it
little,
is.
rest a little bit, and then I'll be back up and out working on prepping food and stuff for tomorrow for my husband.
That's he's the only one, and then you go to your closet area or something. You don't get to partake.
I'm not
either?
gonna eat much. I don't do feasts. I don't do eating a lot.
Right. Well, turkey has that
I don't eat turkey.
that chemical in it. You know why?
I hate it.
Really?
Too bland.
Well, yeah. A lot of people like their turkey like juicy. Uh, I don't mind it being a little dry.
I just don't like turkey.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna stick,
Yeah. It's
I'm
okay.
trying to stop like 5,000 jokes here. If I'm gonna stuff, if I'm gonna stick, if I'm gonna put it in my mouth and stuff like that, and I'm like, which one do I even sell?
Oh, that's right. You're having lamb tomorrow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ooh,
And
love
what goes with lamb? What's good sides for lamb?
There's a few, but I haven't really decided what I'm doing with that yet. I have to go to the
Yeah.
grocery store tonight after rush hour.
Do you do the traditional green bean casserole?
No,
No.
I hate
I don't.
beans and I'm sensitive to onions, so no.
Really? Yeah.
I am
Yeah,
a very, very finicky eater. My mom's asked me where I get it because I grew up as poor as fuck eating crappy
Right.
commodities.
I'm
But
kind of
I'm picky.
I'm kind of a finicky eater myself. I don't like green bean casserole, but I guess if I was hungry enough, uh, I don't know. You put those other onions on the top, like you said. You're sensitive to onions, even the dried onions. They stick on the top of those green bean casseroles.
Everything onion.
Now, what kind of pie you doing? Like pumpkin pie or what? You doing any pie? Or you're still kind of thinking about it, aren't you, Eagle?
Yeah, I'm waiting on the wife. She's gonna surprise me when she gets home tonight. So.
Oh boy. Well, maybe she'll be in a negligee. Huh?
I'm not a pie person either, but I do. But I did buy my husband some of his
With
pecan
a
he likes.
pie in her hand.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be great?
that'd be amazing.
That'd be amazing.
This is where people figure out how much of a finicky pain in the ass I am. About the only thing
Yeah.
I like out of traditional Thanksgiving feasts is like
Right.
black olives and mushrooms.
Hey, one of the best things that I had,
No,
now not for
I've
Thanksgiving.
sweet potatoes because they have more vitamins in them that help the organs than regular potato. But I
Yeah.
don't eat them often, and I don't eat them that sweet.
Right.
So
Yeah, I don't eat sweet potato. I don't eat deviled eggs. There's a lot of things that are like, oh, you're crazy, Rex. Deviled eggs are awesome. Ugh. No, thank you.
Well, I like a sweet potato.
I'm torn on deviled eggs. You make them
Yeah.
right, they can be good, but 99% of what people try to serve you as deviled eggs suck.
Pale Rider says bland. You don't know seasoning. Lamb is good though.
No. It's not a question of seasoning. I'm talking about the base meat flavor itself. I will not eat turkey, even seasoned well. It has a definitive bland undertaste. Whereas,
right.
Take all the fat and the skin off of a duck or a goose and cook it down properly, and that's seasoning to it. Much better flavor. I hate white meat, by the way, of almost any fowl. So,
Right.
Yeah, I'm more.
Well, now, would you consider like a turkey leg white meat?
technically the leg isn't white meat, but it's the dark meat of a white meat bird, so it's still not as flavorful necessarily as some others.
Maybe
Let's
wild
put it this
turkey.
way. The only white meat that's going in my mouth is not meat.
You see the cleft of my chin in the sunlight. A little bit of cleft, not as much as Kirk Douglas, the intense Kirk Douglas. My wife is making deviled eggs with bacon chunks on top. Whoa, chunks! Yeah.
See, I'll do the thing that a lot of people complain about because I actually think using like berries and fruits properly in a good like teriyaki or barbecue over meats can be really good. But you have to do it right.
Right. Now
I have the berries and stuff. That's what I'm doing with the lamb tomorrow. Is I actually I'm going to be working at the Vitamix for a while, and I'm actually going to make a reduction glaze to go over it. That's actually going to be raspberry, blackberry, blueberry compote with spice.
well, when you have medical issues and there's certain things you need to avoid, I think we all need to avoid gluten and things like that. Yeah, Pale Rider says, do you also have your steak well done?
Actually, yes, but that's medically because I'm not allowed to eat things undercooked with rare and red in them because of the autoimmune issues I have and how sensitive I have to some of the bacteria as it can occur.
It's only been within the last 5 years that I've said medium rare. I always ate mine well cooked.
Yeah, because I can't. It's high risk to react to the issues I have with my immune issues. So I'm not supposed to eat the other way, and it can actually make me sick. So
it seems like to me you might be a blackberry pie type girl.
Blackberry, if done right, can be good. My problem I have with most blackberry is I don't like that most people don't either remove the seeds or blend them down better because I don't like chunky seeds in my stuff. That's why I use the Vitamix.
Yeah.
Trust me, you run things in that for a few minutes, there ain't no traces of the seeds left. It's smooth. It's
Of course, the same thing with raspberry. Raspberry being much sweeter though.
Raspberry's
like
sweeter and the seeds are a little smaller, but it still gets that annoying factor if people don't, either sift the seeds out or put them down more. Yes, I am a finicky, picky person.
Well, that's okay. Maybe you're discriminating.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll tell my husband that.
Yeah.
Next time he rolls his eyes at me and goes, "Really, hon? Are you gonna be that picky?"
Well, what I say is you like what you like.
Mm-hmm. Well, I look at it this way: there's a lot of things I'm not allowed to eat because of the medical. Then there's the things I just don't like. Then there's the things I'm not interested in, and then there's the things that I like, which is its little category.
Are those cyborg implants on your ears? I'm just wondering. I was wondering
my
that earlier.
headphones.
Yeah. Nice light up headphones. Yeah. Fancy. Uh-huh. Okay, Eagle, get a medical pass, but Rex, you are not allowed to eat steak anymore. Well, I no longer eat it well done. Well,
see, I learned growing up because there were all the
steak.
I
don't mind eating it medium rare, but I just don't want to cut into it and it screams and bleeds.
I learned growing up because of all these medical sensitivities with me and my dad that you actually really can make a well done steak and still have it really juicy and soft. Yeah. It's just extremely difficult, and it's an art form to do it. Because if you undercook slightly or overcook slightly, you're fucked. And the temp has to be perfect. And I think that's why it's so frowned on, is because most chefs genuinely struggle with doing a well-done steak and actually keeping it juicy. In fact, one of the Hell's Kitchens, that was actually one of the challenges Ramsay made them do, was cook the well-done steak for the finicky customers and actually not overcook it.
Yeah. One of the worst things and something that I couldn't eat, it was like hell no. It was an undercooked bloody burger that I got at a fast food place in Memphis. I just had to wind up throwing it away. It was undercooked. I said, hell no.
Especially the low-grade meat most of those places use. You can't trust that shit.
No, I threw it away. Shoot, no. And
Fuck that shit. Fucking
I already,
hard.
you know, and I drove in and got it and was driving out of Tennessee. So I'm not going to go back and I couldn't probably even find the place again. It's called Beef and Bird. I'll never go to one of those again, simply because of that one bad cook. But we actually had a fairly large men's meeting at a place over here, and the eggs were undercooked, the pork chop was undercooked, and then when you got it back, like 30 minutes later after the meal's done, the pork chop's overcooked and the eggs were just overcooked. You know, instead of just dropping another egg, which is cheap enough, and doing it right, they just fried it up more.
That's when you're not
service.
supposed to take something back from a customer and put it back on the grill because it's cross contamination. You don't know what's touched it.
Right. Yeah.
That is a big no in health code.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's what they did. Howdy, I like rare steak, but not hamburger. Heck no. Eric says, hey, Eric. Hey, Bones in the house. I like medium. Tail Rider says rare or medium rare. I just can't do raw. Are you kidding? Rare is pretty raw.
And I will say most of the guys I know who really like the really rare, the like bloody meat and stuff, most of the guys I know who do that it's either like the ranch hands who'd have to throw meat together with a steak in like 5 minutes between cattle drives and shit, or it's like military guys who are having to quick cook meat so it was cooked enough not to be toxic when they're out on the field and stuff, you know? Then they got a taste for it.
Right. Yeah. Pale Rider says, yeah, I only order a medium burger if I know the chef. Yeah.
That makes sense. It's the same thing with, you know, I understand there's safety and temps, and not all fowls, not all birds have the same risks of all the salmonella and all that. Yes, there are birds you can undercook and still have them not be toxic. One of the ones they do that with is pigeon, actually. But if I'm eating bird, it's going to be fully cooked. I don't fucking care, you know?
Yeah, it needs to be. That chicken, if it's undercooked, no way. Well, I don't eat a lot of fast food anyway. No. I cook for myself. For one, I can't afford it, and another, I get just a better value cooking and not all kitchen things need to be a long drawn out process. Seems like a lot of people do that at Thanksgiving the day before. I'm sure there's a lot of cooking going on tonight to get prepared. My wife wants her steak rare and a bit cold in the middle. Whoa. Wow. It's kind of wild. You know, as long as it's digestible, I suppose, until your taste and doesn't kill you or make you sick, I suppose it's A-okay. Eagle, did you see my my bookmark I made? I don't know if I showed it.
Yeah, I think you showed me it this morning.
Yeah.
Pretty good job, actually. I've just been doing little flower ones, so I mean.
Yeah.
One sec here. As I reposition a little bit.
Eric says, I live in a small town with a couple of small cafes and a restaurant. Most home-cooked meals. No illegals or kids with poor hygiene cooking the food.
See, and I did food service when I was young, but I was picky as hell with the hygiene. And the reason I made manager quick, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't put up with shit, and people had to stay within code around me.
I could see that. I could see you managing in a restaurant. Yeah, definitely. I straight out of high school worked at Poncho's restaurant. Started off as a busboy and graduated up to cook, making guacamole and other things like that. And actually cooking the meals, preparing the plates. And then later, I worked at Perkins Restaurant. I don't know. Perkins is a big chain restaurant. I worked there for 6 months. Worked my ass off at that place. They had a bakery, a small bakery, which was pretty cool.
They're not so small in a lot of the Perkins anymore. They
Yeah.
bakery stuff a lot.
Well, it didn't. It had poor management, and it was just a disaster.
Yeah, they were pretty bad in the old days.
Yeah.
Some of them are better now. Some of them are worse again. But there was an era where they were really, really low rent food.
Yeah. The only fast food I'm tempted to get is the original chicken sandwich at Burger King with a coupon.
That's another one I'll skip. Burger King.
Luke likes that as well.
Quality.
Now, do you get original chicken sandwich? That's not the spicy one, right? Holy guacamole! Yeah, holy guacamole, Batman.
No, but it's breaded and it's got MSG. So, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the finicky pain in the butt. I admit that.
Well, I mean, sometimes you just have to go, I really like this. I'm going to get it anyway, even though I know it's not the healthiest thing for me.
Oh, well, with MSG, it's if I eat this, I will be gutter crawling sick with a massive migraine for 4 days.
Right. You don't want that.
So,
It's kind of like when I was younger, I would get nosebleeds. I guess the only two things that I would get, I'd wake up in a pool of blood on the pillow. Oh, look at those animals on the bed or wherever they're at. Yeah.
I have goofy stuffed animals. I don't deny that.
Yeah. Oh, monkey.
Hell, I've got a giant stuffed dragon here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't care. I'm a girl. I'm supposed to like cute stuff. I mean,
besides that, I would get car sick, and like every Sunday, my dad would want to drive up in the hills where it's like up and down and around, and I would throw up on the way up there, and I would throw up on the way back, and it's like, you want to go up there? And I'm like, no, I don't. I don't like, feeling nausea in your stomach is the worst feeling, just about.
Yeah.
Everything's unsettled. In fact, the last day that I saw Dad, he was coming back from before he passed. The day he passed away, he came back from a workout from rehab, and he had that unsettled, nauseated look in his face, where it just made him nauseated. And I fed him a little bit of angel food cake to kind of settle his stomach, because they delivered his meal right after that, and he didn't feel like eating anything but that.
that makes sense. Don't mind me too much. I'm putting together my husband's birthday gifts.
Oh, okay. Now your husband's birthday's coming up?
Monday.
Oh, okay.
His
Right
40th
after
is Monday.
40th?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you need to put him out to pasture and retire that old man. Bone apple teeth. Okay. Are you feeling any better, Rex? Yeah. Yes, I am. I know you've been a bit under the weather lately. Yeah. I'm kind of like a little bit leery, but what are you going to do? I mean, you go out and you go to the store or something. You never know what the germs. And I'm one of those. I'll just manhandle the handles to open the door or the carts and not wipe them down. I don't have the best sanitary practices. I like to get in and get out as quick as possible. I am worried about Rex. He just doesn't have the same oomph since shaving his beard. Well, actually, I felt pretty good today, Now, I did, with that said, I ate breakfast after the coffee stream, and I rested for maybe 2.5 hours or so. I don't know, with the dog in my lap in the Lazy Boy, and then I went to bed for just a little bit while I listened to the news, and then I got up and made sure I had shaved and showered and got ready to walk out the door. Just had to put my shoes on for tonight's pizza Thanksgiving. Usually I want turkey somehow with my Thanksgiving. Rex lost his superpowers since he shaved his beard. Yeah, kind of like Samson, huh?
Yeah.
James may be. Well, all I need is like an eyebrow, from Eagle, and I've already gotten that, and I'm rejuvenated. So, I'll get some vitamin C. Well, I mean, I have lime in my coffee every day.
You get your vitamin C. I'll get my vitamin D.
Yeah, milk. Yeah, milk does the body
No,
good.
that wasn't what I was referring to.
Well, it goes over my head, Eagle. You'll have to explain it to me in private.
Vitamin D is all. No, I don't need private. It's also a slang term used for getting dick.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Well, yeah, vitamin D. Got it. Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. She doesn't need private for that. She'll go public with it. Yeah, maybe I did lose my superpowers. What were my superpowers, Eric? Not very observant. I'd probably be Daredevil. I'd be like blind with a man walking. Yeah, what the fuck, Eagle? Eric says. WTF.
Sorry.
Vitamin D. Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Whoop. Now you've scared off Shadowhawk, see? Okay, here he is. He's back. Look at that. He kicked himself and came back in. I didn't even have to bring him back. Now he lost his icon. Now he's back. Now he's gone again. He's playing pickle.
Oh, my nipple disappeared. I mean,
your what? Your nipple.
the white nipple. That's what a lot of people call the no avatar symbol.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Only you. That's the only time I've heard that. You dare to ask to annoy anyone. That is your superpower. I dare to ask to annoy anyone. I dare to ask to annoy anyone. Can you explain that to me, Eagle? Because I'm dense.
Nope.
No?
It sounds like bad grammar.
Okay. I'm too innocent to understand that, Caroline says.
Sure, right.
Well, not everybody knows what vitamin D is. I mean, in that context. That's the first I've ever heard of it.
Why is it you managed to miss all the dirty euphemisms?
Because I'm just...
Russian flashbang, snowballing, any of these? No?
No, you'll have to teach me. Yeah. Eric says FFS.
For fuck's sakes.
Power right. Yeah, I know. I just didn't want to say it.
No, I'm saying it back to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Caroline says she's too innocent to understand that. And Power Rider says, me too. You dare to ask what your superpower is to annoy anyone. Not bad grammar. Okay. Yeah, of course you are, Pale Rider. Yeah, so she agrees with you, Pale Rider. You're innocent. Innocent, I tell you.
Sure.
Too innocent to understand.
Uh-huh.
Well, I wonder what happened to Shadowhawk. Maybe he walked in the door and said, "Oh, you didn't bring the black eyed peas. Get out." Maybe he got sidelined. Have to mess with you, Rex? Sure, I know that, Eric. So, big day tomorrow. I mean, 300th episode on Thanksgiving. Wow. That's great. 300 episodes. Who knew? That was sarcasm. I'm as innocent as baby Jesus, Pale Rider says. Wow. Well, okay.
Sure.
The manger story actually is told wrong. The wise men, it took them travel time to get there, and really he was living in a house. Scripture says he was in a house and about 2 years old when the Magi came and visited. They didn't visit him when he was a little baby. It's not like you could get from here across country in a few hours. Took them a couple years travel. It was a quest.
No, people need to remember, even in settler times in the U.S. here, by wagons like they traveled, but in the old days,
right.
It would have been a day's travel for me to go across Cedar Rapids here.
By horse, it would have been like 20. It would have been.
I'm saying just to go from one side of town to the other. It would have been a day's travel.
Yeah, I mean, to go about 20 miles. You're going to show us that gift before you wrap it up? Show us what you got him? He's not around. We could see it.
Well, that's just a knife sharpener for collector's stuff. There's about 20 different things of his different favorite snacks of his, from chocolates to Turkish Delight to almond roca and stuff.
Now, are you actually wrapping up, or are you putting it in like a gift bag? Because I kind of like gift bag.
Putting it in a gift bag, and it's going to be wrapped inside the brand new silken blanket I got him.
Oh, okay. Where's the real Pale Rider? Yeah, he was actually 3 when we visited. Well, actually, I don't think it gives. See, again, that's a misnomer that there was 3 Magi. There probably could have been more than that. It's not really named. It's not really told how many Magi.
It doesn't say how many. It just says what gifts they were carrying. And the how many is assumed because it was 3 gifts.
Exactly. Frankincense, myrrh, and gold. Which, if you think about it, that gave them traveling money to go to Egypt.
My husband likes this show, so I got him all 9 seasons.
What is it?
Last Man Standing.
Okay. Very nice. I hate wrapping. Gift bags help. Yeah. We had 3 years old, I meant. He was actually 3 when we visited. You are old, Pale Rider. Old and innocent. Man, that sun's really coming in on me here. Dude, shadow puppets here. Almost makes me, almost makes me look bald. That's a scary thought. I'd like to retain my hair in my old age. Weren't the countries for the wise men mentioned, or am I wrong? No, I don't think so.
I don't remember that.
No.
Granted, it's been a while since I did that study.
Yeah, they came from the East, I think. And the East and the West has significant. I mean, Eden was in the East. But it was to Abraham. Everybody, it was East. If you like, Cain went to the East when it's first. Oh, yeah.
I just used the shopping bag to put it all in together, wrapped up all neat.
Yeah, it almost looks like a snowflake design. Shadowhawk must be having trouble because he usually comes in the chat, go, oh, damn, I kicked myself or something happened. I fell off a ledge or broke my leg and he just bumped out and it's gone. Hope he's okay. Oh, God, I just under 300 miles from Eagle Rider. Pale Rider says, Eric says, oh, God, I live just under 300 miles from Eagle Rider.
I wonder how he got that, or did you realize I said Cedar Rapids? That's right.
Yeah.
I've been kind of open about that from the beginning, actually, because nobody knows exactly where.
Well, I mean, you show your face. It's like you dox yourself, right?
Sure.
Anyone here real Pale Rider?
Nobody's going to find my house. I'm really good at hiding that. Nobody finds it, even locally.
Yeah, well, you can DM me private.
No way.
No way. Wow.
No way.
Of it.
No, I don't give anybody that information.
I understand. Well, thank you for joining me. I just thought I'd kick you. That's my thing. I kick.
Suck at that one, sweetie.
As a joke. Let's see. Now, I've been trying to get back to a question that was asked, but I have to think about what the question was. You said Cedar Rapids. I was wondering how far from Cedar Rapids I am. Don't stalk me, Eagle Rider. What was the question? Go back up in the chat here.
I don't stock. I've been the one stock, but I don't stock. That takes effort.
It takes effort, yeah. Do you
Most
like
people, I don't care about that.
Do you like popcorn?
Depends on rare occasion, the right ones made well.
Right. Butter.
Not
butter
much.
Pop.
Can't have a lot of that.
Can't have a lot of that, can you? Yeah.
Most people, I think, would get very bored with my diet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been told I cook bland, and I'm fine with that. Just as well, it's as long as it's well cooked. I'm not. Now, turkey has a chemical in it that makes you want to sleep afterwards.
To be fair, actually,
turkey,
most meats have that. It's just that turkey has an excessively high amount of it.
Yeah. Have you ever had wild turkey and know the difference in taste? If you had to eat turkey, if that was the only thing, would you prefer the wild or the domesticated?
Wild isn't even a question in that one. Definitely.
Wild's more flavorful,
That's
isn't it?
basically a general for me with foods anyways, because I also prefer how they're treated as wild.
Yeah. Is that...
I am not a fan of packing plants and that shit, so...
Right. Well, I mean, you can... I buy free-range eggs when I buy eggs myself. They're better nutritional. Your egg should be an orange yolk and not a yellow. I ate yellow for years and years and years, but when I found out they need to be that orange color, I always thought the orange ones were weird, But here's Shadowhawk.
Tryptophan.
Yeah.
Hey guys. Sorry,
Tryptophan. That's right. Make you sleep if you eat a bunch of turkey. Now you're having that 17-pound turkey. I heard something on the radio, Shadowhawk, that about a 17-pound turkey in some places costs you about $30, about $29. So I'm factoring in tax.
Wow.
So it's probably over $30.
I was gonna say that's actually a lot cheaper than it is everywhere I found here, because all the turkeys here were like almost beef prices per pound.
He got one like was 16, 17, somewhere in there for like $8. Eagle Rider, $8.
Yeah, I think we must have had a.
I mean,
that's a deal. You got a blessing there. Did they
not
have two of them? Because I think
if I found it that cheap, I might actually get it just to cut up to blend with some red meats into a sausage for things.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, it's kind of a filler somewhat. I like fried turkey. It's crisp and more flavorful. Yeah.
If you add it to like red meats and stuff like that, you can take like a lean red meat, add that, and then you add like some livers and stuff like that to add some of that fluid you need and stuff. You can get away with less fats in it. Yeah. And have a lower fat sausage that's got a lot more minerals and vitamins in the meats and a lot of them.
Night, Caroline.
Sleep well, Caroline. The new chapter is coming.
Okay.
Coming soon.
I
ain't got time for Thanksgiving, Shadowhawk.
Yeah, you got the pizza thing.
I'll make time for pizza. Yeah.
There you go.
I make time for something, but it's not pizza.
Right. Okay, I'll give you my address. Eric says, years ago, my brother and sister-in-law raised their own chickens and ate the eggs. They cooked some eggs for me when I visited them. They were so rich. I was not used to it. Definitely orange. Yeah. It's better nutritional. That's what I was saying on the coffee stream today. Yeah. If you eat a cow or you eat a chicken or any kind of animal, right? Or pick a plant, you're only going to get the nutrition out of it as healthy as that plant or that animal was. So the healthier the animal, like your free range eggs, where the chickens aren't cooped up and get to exercise and whatnot, it's just better for you, better protein. I was talking too much in the chat, Eric says. Hey, Andy. Andy A in the house. Please smash that like button, Bone says. Thank you for that.
Do a little bone up.
little water in my ear from the shower. Did you just flip me on? I know you didn't. I was just hand gestures. She's putting a curse on me. She's doing some kind of gang sign. What up? Uh-oh. I just
I'm taking
ordered
care of some things I need to take care of here.
I just ordered a hit on myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go
Gang
for it.
sign.
I mean,
Okay, I thought he was going to send me a picture. Oh, cool. Steve Dye that does Rocket Magazine says, sure, man, I'll be happy to. Thanks.
oh, sweet, girl.
Yeah. So we'll
See
have
that?
Steve
Sometimes I have a
Dye.
good idea.
Yeah, every now and then you do.
don't let it go to your head. It won't happen again for a while.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. You want me to kick her?
No, I'm awesome.
I'll kick myself. Watch Suzanne Summers and Joyce DeWitt
Whoa.
in the Three's Company time traveling show Stall Rex. Shower Stall. Yeah. What's it? Yeah. Take a look at me now. We'll be waiting for you.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Making my turkey burn.
And maybe years later, I still say we lost Ritter way too early.
Oh, we did. Yeah. And it's, some people go in and they don't come out.
Well, he actually had the heart attack on set.
Yeah, but I mean, he basically died in surgery, didn't he, or whatever? I mean,
in the emergency room while they were trying to revive him.
sort of medical mishap or something. Yeah, I don't know.
That was
Okay.
in the emergency room while they were trying to revive him.
Who is going to send me a picture? Send it to me now so I can. It was over that comic. I thought you were going to send me that Jay Lee. Who said that in the chat? You're not a glutton. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will be. Joseph Dredd. Joseph, if you're still in here, let me see that Jay Lee Dune sketch cover. Definitely.
Blah, 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 Pale Rider. Or at least I spell Rider correctly.
Yeah. John Ritter was a very good actor. He was great in Bad Santa. Was it My Hero? He was in a movie called My Hero or something. We mentioned that the other day. I remember
I
that
don't
one.
remember.
A lot is happening in the Shadowhawk house. Let's listen in. Prepping. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing about working at any kind of food stuff.
Yeah, you spend more time prepping.
You spend a lot of time prepping, just like most teachers, 40% of their time now is with paperwork instead of educating. That's kind of ridiculous. But
and yet, when you think about how much paperwork you have to do just to grade and make sure every person did their work right, it makes sense also.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, it's administrative as well. I have a lot of.
I'm saying that it's a complicated misnomer statistic because they also judge it on after hours spent doing paperwork for grading people and stuff like that too. So it's hard to get an exact number is what I was getting at.
Yeah, well, exactly. It is kind of hard to get an exact number, especially out of the teachers union.
Fuck unions.
Yeah. Now, did you hear?
Did the ex-union carpenters just say that? I mean,
yeah, and I was in printers union at one time. You know, when I was at World Color,
I
trained and learned carpentry under the United Brotherhood of Carpenters, and fuck unions, and fuck the crap I had to do while I was in that.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, now we're wondering if the railroads are going to strike, you know, the union, whoever's in charge of all that. So get your Christmas gifts now, folks. It may not be in the store come Christmas.
That's not a problem. Everybody I know gets gifts from me that I make.
Right.
Always.
Right. Well, I mean,
and that's not because I'm being cheap. I still spend a lot of money doing it. That's what they prefer.
Right. Yeah.
So. Hey, right.
Exactly right. I mean, you know, when you poll or whatever, I just call it common sense. You know, you make the most, you know, you're a good steward of what you use. And when you don't have a lot, you make a lot stretch. You might take a little and make it stretch, you know. Not just on, I mean, some people don't know how to live that way. You know, they're like, hey, you know, they got a little, they drop it, and they're, you know.
I remember walking through Lizards over to the thrift stores with my mom so that she could convince them to give her the stuff that wasn't good enough to resell. It was too torn and damaged because she'd pull it apart and make blankets and stuff out of it to keep us alive. Because we had nothing. We had to scrounge and get stuff from other people. We also had to work and make everything we needed out of whatever scrounged bits we could get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's just what you do.
And right. I mean, I knew a millionaire once. He started that. He grew up on dirt floors. And I'm like, wow, I've seen some people that have grown up on concrete floors, but dirt floors. And this was years ago. He's since passed away, but he was a jeweler and I had a jewelry store, 2 or 3 or 4. I don't know how many. But,
I have actually lived in places that had dirt floors.
Yeah.
And actually still not that uncommon along Pine Ridge.
Yeah.
So I actually get what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. In this day and time, though, you say, what? You have a dirt floor? I know we had, you know, I knew people that we would take some new, but a lot of repurposed toys and stuff and deliver to people, you know, at Christmas time that were very poor, that didn't even have running water, had an outhouse. And, you know, when we wanted to drink water as kids, they would have it in a bowl with a ladle, and that's the way you got your water.
My first Christmas was, well, it's not just that we grew up with the poverty. My mom was lost everything in a fire when she was pregnant with me. That was part of an arson fire streak that happened in the town she was living in.
Wow, I'm sorry.
And so that first Christmas I was almost a year old. I still had no toys or anything at that point. And it was the miracle that my mom, after scrounging through all these charities and trying to find one gift for the baby, managed to have somebody donate one and drop one off at the house for us Christmas Eve. So literally the only gift I had was this little stuffed dog.
You know, you don't have to change the world, Eagle, but one kind act of charity, you know.
That dog meant the world to my family because it was something they could do for the baby for her first Christmas.
Right.
And through another fire that we went through later, I still have that thing through fire and flood. So
cool.
Just a little thing you can do for people. I told people it doesn't take much. You can be at a store and somebody's scrounging to figure out how to pay for something, and you take a moment to pull your phone out and track down coupons or aid for them to get it. Yeah. You spend nothing, but you help them save a few bucks where they didn't have them. That can mean everything to somebody.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. God bless us each and every one. Yeah, I think that's a little Oliver Twist, or what was it? Not Oliver Twist. It was Scrooge. Tiny Tim.
A Christmas Carol.
A Christmas Carol. There we go.
Everyone.
I miss Hiawatha. Hey, yeah, where is Hiawatha?
Yeah, where's Hiawatha been?
Yeah. I can make 2 boxes of 50-cent mac and cheese and 1 pound of ground meat last a week. Yeah. Yeah, if you don't eat much.
Yeah.
even I would be kind of stretched on that one to last a week, Pale Rider. We're
Yeah,
talking a full 7
actually,
days.
Lorenzo, you actually have it correct. Oglala Lakota Sioux.
Kind of rolls off the tongue when you
Which
say
probably, if he actually knows much about the tribes, probably got it from me talking about Pine Ridge. Because that's mostly Oglala there. So, yeah. That's that wonderful little card I have when too many people call me white girl for too long. I can just pick it up and go, see, I've got the tribal membership. I've got the certification of my background. I mean, and this isn't like some little white girl out in the city growing up going, oh, I find out I'm a little native. It's like I was born and raised in the tribe. I'm paler than my white mother and way paler than my native daddy was.
Must have been a contrast family shot. Haven't seen Donut for the same time. Yeah, Donut, though, has kind of stepped away from streaming somewhat. So taking a little break, but she'll be back.
I was thinking I have the perfect family picture that explains that. We went together and we got the family together about 6 years ago to do all these multi-generation pictures. Grandfather, his kids, their spouses, their grandkids and their spouses, and great-grandkids for my grandfather. This was barely a couple of years before he passed away. And this giant family that ranged from everyone from people who were Caucasian and different European groups all the way into Black and Asian and all the other, and lots of Native, and this rainbow picture. And the two people you can spot at a distance in the group shot is me and my brother. Me because of the albino issues, my brother because he's a half brother and he's mostly German and very pale. So it's like looking at it going, and I look paler than the German brother.
Yeah.
It just says it all in that picture, and it's like I stand out like a sore thumb in the picture.
I think you need to change your name to Ghost Rider. Just saying.
Especially
and maybe set your hair on fire.
I had my godson standing behind me. I had my goddaughter on my knee, and I had my dad right behind them. And so, literally, I had the native guy here, my black godson, my black goddaughter, and then me looking like this ghost.
Eric says his native name is Runs with Ice Cream.
I could do joke ones, or I could just admit that it's Laughing Water.
Laughing Water. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Which came really weird when they built the restaurant in Crazy Horse Monument years later, and they named it Laughing Water. The restaurant at Crazy Horse.
Well, there you go. You got a restaurant named after it. But she goes in and I'll just have a glass of water because she's so picky.
Oh no. They sell native tacos. I eat. They serve big native tacos with bison meat.
And what is a native taco, Eagle?
Well, it's native Indian taco. What it is it's a conglomeration. It's basically a cross between the traditional Indian tacos that came before the Hispanic ones, because what became tacos in Mexico was a conglomeration of native food and Hispanic food.
Right.
So it's a giant fry bread that's cooked with, minimal oil as much as possible, just to be a light, fluffy bread that doesn't have a lot in it, with a thin coat of the spices and all that, and then all the bison meat, and then you heap all your taco toppings up on it until it's this big mountain on a plate.
Wow. Yeah.
That sounds good.
They're great.
Now, bison's very high, but now do you cook bison from time to time?
Bison is really good.
Yeah, I like bison.
Yes, if you go to Crazy Horse, they actually have a few menu items there, from tribal stew to the Indian tacos to one of the burger types and other stuff that are done with the bison meat that's gotten locally through a partnership with the forest rangers and the reproduction of the bison there. So they're not just bison, they're wild-fed bison from the Black Hills there that are eating all the sweet plants in the mountains.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it's
go
not
there,
as
you eat the bison meat.
Yeah, it's not as expensive, because I know
it's not as expensive, and they don't tend to charge a ton for the restaurant, because to get to the restaurant, you've already paid to get in.
Last time I looked here, it was like $8 something a pound here. but now it's probably went up since then.
Oh, I'm sure it probably has because a lot of meat's getting really expensive anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Indian taco.
Hal Ryder says his Indian name is Orange Vodka Rain. Eric says, not going to lie, that sounds good. Talking about the tacos. Yeah.
It's one of the few places I go into and there's really food I actually would want to eat. You know?
Lorenzo says, we have a bison farm here in Traverse City, Michigan, but they aren't wild bison.
We have a ranch about a few miles out of town to the north of Cedar Rapids here.
But you weren't talking about wild bison, were you?
Well, I was saying with this one, it's partly because while they do ranch them there in Penn, they're actually buying them from the auctions yearly at Custer. So they're buying the Black Hills bison and feeding them for a while and then selling them.
I've never been on a bison roundup.
I've been around for that. Although, honestly, the roundup day is mostly just for show for the tourists. They round them up for weeks before that, really going through the hills and finding them. So,
do they just get on horseback and round them up like you would cattle?
With whips, because that's the only way you're getting close to them without getting trampled, because they hate the sound.
Right.
Then they don't whip the animals or hurt them. They whip the air above them.
Right, just to get them moving.
Kind of like down there on the border, which was captured on. Round those Haitians up. My native name is Dances with Beer, Bone says.
Lorenzo, if you're in the U.S., they were. Bison lived in every state until
they were all over.
Times.
Oh, yeah, even the prehistoric bison were here. Yeah. And apparently mastodon, too, right?
Yeah. Well, again, if you go into the Black Hills, they have what is the only site they know of where they found mammoth remains that were preserved without actually fossilizing.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is what they call Mammoth Site there, which is in Hot Springs, which is in the Southern Hills. Yeah. And literally it's because it was just right the way the bull caught them in the water and the dirts and stuff that actually managed to seal around them without fossilizing them. So as they're digging this site up, you can actually see the bones like barely out of your arm reach where they're literally digging them out of the ground, not even fossilized.
Wow. That's cool. So, yeah, people will be researching those. I know in Lake Michigan, I showed a picture the other day of I think it was yesterday, the sort of sunken, looked like a miniature Neolithic Stonehenge. And they found a carving of a mastodon on one of the things.
It is, Lorenzo, while sometimes it can be a little gamey depending on where you get it. It is leaner than beef and actually has almost 3 times as much protein, vitamins, minerals, iron, and other stuff that you need that you get from red meat.
Yep. Yeah, it's very good.
Lamb is actually, even though it's fattier, lamb is also actually healthier than beef. It has a lot more of the stuff you need from meat in it. Yeah. So actually a really healthy way to get a relatively lean ground meat that's really good is part lamb and part bison.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good, and it's really good for you.
Yeah, and lamb gives you a lot of the what do they call it again? The stuff that comes from cartilage and everything. People used to have it in their diet because we used to eat the whole animal, but nobody does that anymore. So
collagen, by the way.
Collagen. Thank you, Eli.
Bison and lamb are both meats that they tell you to eat more of if you have anemic issues or blood disorders and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some medical science behind that, and that's part of why I eat them when I can.
Yeah, actually, my wife had a problem with anemia about 3-4 years ago. And, we found out she was actually had like slight internal bleeding going on because she had I guess it turned out not to be a tumor, thank God, but some kind of cyst or something. After we had our last.
That's actually kind of ironic in ways because they discovered that I have a genetic anemia that's consistent and constant when they were doing all the testing on the blood and stuff when I was going through the severe issues with the PCOS, and that's when I actually hemorrhaged internally for a while. So that's actually kind of ironic.
Yeah. So thank God, they figured it out fairly quickly.
That's why I say I love my kitties, is because I didn't realize how bad it was. I didn't realize I was bleeding internally. My cat did. She sat there poking the side, screaming at me, trying to get me to do something, and she would not get off of this spot on my side, freaking out until we decided we better find out what she's freaking out about. And
wow.
I was pretty bad shape by the time they did that. They actually gave me shots of stuff to help restore stuff in my blood to get me going again. So, my cat saved me then.
Well, I mean, they kind of blew her off at first, when she went in, and she was.
They did.
I'm weak,
years.
And
years. I sat there and told the doctors, okay, I work out constantly. I'm gaining weight. I barely eat. I'm gaining weight. I'm not functioning properly as a female. Something's wrong. And all they kept doing is saying, no, you're fine. Just eat less and stuff. It's not a question of what I'm eating. Well, then eat healthier. It's not a question of what I'm eating. I'm a very picky, healthy eater. And you sit there and I'd go round and round and for years try to find a doctor to listen. And it almost killed me. And it was only after they started finding, there's all these metabolic conditions. There's all these neuromuscular conditions, all these neurological conditions. There was cystic issues, fertility issues, and other stuff they didn't even understand. And they just kept blowing me off. It's like they could have killed me. They almost did. Because they weren't willing to listen. Because, you're not a skinny person. Obviously, you're just trying to say you're not eating much because you want people to believe you're not doing it to yourself. And there's an attitude. And I've seen the same attitude in reverse with people that are ultra skinny that look almost anorexic and stuff. There's an assumption that you're starving yourself if you're that skinny. And a lot of the people I know that are that skinny eat like pigs and can't gain weight, and it makes them sick sometimes.
Oh, I eat like a horse, and I've never weighed more than 170 pounds in my life.
Yeah. My husband eats like 6 times what I do, and he's half my size, I swear. Mm. It drives me nuts. There's times I want to smack him for it,
Still wearing the same size jeans I had in high school. My wife's like, God dang it.
And it's one of those things, I think, I kind of agree with a lot of the people on the right side that say, stop glorifying people who are abusing their bodies, who are huge as hell, who brag about eating this or say, well, I don't care, I'm this size and stuff, and who aren't trying to be their healthiest self. Stop glorifying that.
Yeah.
Stop with the overexerted body positive shit. But also, let's not shame people if you don't know their story. Let's not assume people are lying. Let's not treat them differently when they're trying to get medical help because you don't know the cause. And too often I've seen people just have things blamed on their weight when actually the weight was being caused by the thing that they blamed it on,
Mm-hmm.
There's usually sense is in the middle. No, I'm not an ideal body shape. Obviously, I have how many medical conditions? Obviously, it's not healthy, but there's such a thing as ridiculous. And that's the side I tend to look at both sides on and go, come on, we can do better than this.
Yeah.
Let's just not be extremist nutcases. I mean, it's like the SJWs and the hardcore anti-SJWs are basically the same thing. They run around screaming their points for their side.
Yeah, I try not to be too extreme in either direction. I'm a fairly conservative person on my own, but I've got my own wackiness and things that I like to do. Everybody does. I try not to. I think everybody should just try to live and let live. Really.
I love when people start finding out half the shit I do, and they look at me like I'm nuts when they don't believe me. When I start talking about hiking and tracking eagle nests, when I start talking about scaling cliff sides and stuff, and they're like,
oh, that reminds me. I was going to ask you, so how did you get into the whole photography and photographing eagles and all that?
That's a little weird and kind of a double sided. Well, I've always been very into animals and going out and sighting them and seeing things and being involved. And I'd snap a photo or stuff with the phones if I had them at that time, but I never actually got the cameras. I wanted to. Through most of my life, I wanted to photograph it. I just couldn't afford to.
Okay.
And then it got to a point where finally the cameras were getting cheaper. The digital was making things cheaper than trying to do film and stuff like that. And then everything hit weird. Okay. This is going to sound weird, but the reason I actually got into becoming a photographer is because my mom dislocated both shoulders and broke the ball joint in one.
Oh, holy moly.
Well, I hope you apologize for that.
I didn't do it. No, this was a few years back.
She accidentally pushed her off that cliff.
No, this was end of 2017. I got a call from my dad on Christmas Eve that Mom had just fallen on the ice.
Oh.
She slipped out and her shoulders smashed into the car as she caught herself.
Oh.
And my dad had muscular dystrophy and was crippled, so he couldn't take care of her. He couldn't even take care of himself without her help. She had both arms completely casted up and not allowed to move them. So me and my husband hauled it, grabbed everything we could get, and right after Christmas, we were there. He left me there, and I stayed with them. I took care of both of them and the house and everything else and everything for a few months.
Right.
And this is me. So when we went out, when we did errands, when we did things, I went let my parents pay for things because you're dealing with Mom being injured. So I paid for everything over and over and over again because I didn't want them to pay for stuff while we were dealing with this.
Right.
My mom being the person that doesn't like being taken care of much, when I started doing this,
ooh.
I see that.
93
decided
cents Kmart.
That's interesting.
What is it? Kmart Grill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
good old days.
She saved up the money that I wouldn't let them spend for the months I was with them. And as a gift for the work I did in helping out, gave me a couple gifts before I left. And one of them was my Vitamix for my cooking, because she knows how much I cook for everybody. I cook for hubby constantly. I cook for people in the inner city. I cook for a lot of the kids with these disabilities and medical sensitivities. I cook specialized foods for them and stuff. So I do a lot of cooking for people.
Give it a stir.
So she got me the Vitamix and she got me a KitchenAid so I could cook more. And then she gave me a camera.
Turn it on.
Oh.
Long as
it was bubbling pretty good.
Okay. As long as the sugar and salt is out and everything.
And so when she gave me the camera, we went out into the Black Hills there because that's where region we were in anyways, and started driving around. And partway through that drive, I got what ended up becoming one of my absolute favorite photos I've taken. And I got it basically my second day trying to learn how to use a camera really for the first time.
Right.
And
okay,
I was
all...
absolutely hooked at that point, and I couldn't stop. And if I can get over fucking here, I'll send it.
What'd you say, Shadow? Wait a minute, Eagle. What'd you say?
No, I was just wondering too when I asked her the question, I didn't know if she had gone to like photography school or anything. I said, "Oh, you're all self-taught," and just that's amazing. You take beautiful pictures.
I think it was a fluke that I got this one that early, but I sent the picture over to Rex. But this is the picture I've got just out the car window out in Custer State Park with them on that second day with the camera. And from that, I was absolutely hooked, and I just kept learning how to get these kinds of pictures more consistently and take pictures more, because I fell in love once I saw the picture. And that's, of course, if he can get that up. But...
yeah. Oh, that's what she said.
I didn't know.
Can you get it up?
Oh, yeah. I see the bison. Yeah.
That was the first real picture I really took with the cameras when I was learning photography.
It just came up. Yeah. There's the bison.
Oh, wow.
And that was just out the car window.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
he just chilled. Little straw.
He even has the grass in his mouth.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's where I became absolutely addicted. So fast forward to summer of 2018, several months into the photography. I mean, my husband were out at Pinnakin Park up in Central City, which we go out there, and it's a beautiful woodsy park. It's where they do a lot of the stuff for Boy Scouts and stuff like that in this area. And it's a big park. We're coming down the hill from where the lookout tower and all that are. And as we come around the corner, right in the grass beside the car is an eagle.
Wow.
And it was an instant reaction. Is that what I think? Give me the camera, hon. And grabbing the camera and snapping pictures real quick before it flew off, carrying the fish it was standing on. And I ended up loving that picture, and so did my family. And I got hooked on the eagle work. I got hooked on the eagle work, and I got hooked on it fast and hard.
Hey, Apex.
Oh.
Hey, Luke.
Hey, Apex.
Holler if you hear me.
So did you have to like?
I've always been a thing with eagles with me, anyways, because of the tribal side and the cultural side and all that things. And I've always had a bit of a thing for things that are powerful and can fly and have freedom and all that. And so I've always had a cultural thing for eagles going on the tribal side, and it was really easy for me to go from nature photographer, eagle lover, to eagle photographer, eagle tracker, to reporting information and helping keep track of them and care for them and all that. It just all progressively just kept dogpiling.
Right. That's just amazing. So, how hard is it to become an eagle tracker? I mean, do you just have to like know where they're living? And
it's kind of been learn their habits, learn their behaviors, learn which areas they're most likely to be in, and then just learn how to actually, follow through trails, follow through woods areas and rock faces, and find places where you can balance yourself to watch and photograph from. And that can get interesting. The most interesting one I actually think was the ice picture I took, because, there's a little context to this story. One of my friends from the YouTube community lives over in Kansas City. So I will go over and do stuff with him. The first time I went over to do stuff with him was in January of 2020. The day he was showing me around Kansas City, his car he was driving at the time that I was in was the victim of a hit and run by a stone driver who drove into the door on the other side of me. So against me.
Right. Yeah.
So I did what I had to take care of myself. And this was on the highway. I did what I could to take care of myself that night. I could not drive home that night like I was supposed to. It wasn't going to happen. So he got me a room cheap in the hotel he worked in for that night. And the next day, after we did the basic medical checks with hospitals, I headed home, drove myself home. Well, it's about a 6-hour drive in winter because you go slower, and it's about 4.5, 5 hours anyways. Not all injuries always show up the first day.
Yeah.
Depending on how they're formed. Bruised bones are one of the ones that they usually can't find until about the third day. On the way home, I went down to Coralville Dam because they have what literally is known as Eagle Walk. It's one of the main places they like to hang out and fish and eat and hunt together as eagles. So it's a good place to go down and photograph. And there was an ice storm all day. I got down there and the grounds were coated in ice. It was cold. It was frigid. And then I saw the eagles and I couldn't get the camera angle. And I went trudging up the cliff sides and the ice rocks and stuff across the walkways to get these photos of these eagles sitting up on these tree branches, because the branches were covered in icicles dripping everywhere. You could just see the eagles sitting there with their talons like hooked between the icicles.
Wow.
And I was determined I was getting these photos. So I went and hiked up all through this stuff. And by the time I got back to the house, I couldn't move. My husband had to lift me out of the car.
Yeah.
God.
And it was 2 days afterwards that I found out why, because I had several bruised bones through my spinal column from the accident while I was
Wow.
out hiking doing that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like I look at that picture and you wouldn't know from glancing at the picture, but that was one of the most painful pictures I ever took.
Lorenzo, this is what you won there. That's his signature. A little bit blotched there, but I think that's pretty cool because it's in blue. It looks like water. This is the initials or the signature, just like on a photo sheet for the gentleman that wore the creature from the Black Lagoon suit on water. There's a sex bot. Thank you for that, Eagle. Somebody get that sex bot, please. And it comes with all this such stuff that came with it. So
Oh,
I'll
cool.
send that out to you here pretty soon. And guys, I've got guys and gals. Whoa, what happened to Eagle there? She went dark.
Oh,
Because half of
very-
my light is my screen, and I switched over to kill the sex bot.
Okay. I know that my chat's good to jump on that. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. I will be here tomorrow for a coffee stream, par regular, and for the 4 o'clock shadow, regular time.
I'll be there.
If you're here, great. If you're not, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you,
People,
chat.
great talking to you, dear.
Thank you, panel with the eyebrows. And keep collecting, and we shall see you later. I'm going to go have Thanksgiving pizza.